everyone. This is Severen Henderson back again for another episode of Department 3C Presents a podcast. Today I have 3 out of 4. I invited 4 women. I got 3 of them, so I think I'm doing pretty good. 75% clip, that'll pass. Of women to come on the show today to talk about their experiences of being married to firefighters. I have one from Cleveland. I have 2 women here from the city of Chicago. And that's what the episode will be about. They're just going to give us their experiences, what we as men can do better. Like I said, what they can do better, which is probably nothing because they do everything great already as it is. And we're just going to talk about the ins and outs in our relationships and just those topics going along with those. So, as always, format goes the same, and I'll just go through it and talk to them, get going with them. But before I speak to them, I just want to give them a quick introduction on my own. So we'll start with Amy. We have Amy joining us over a Zoom call. She's married to a good friend of mine. And like I said before, everybody's my friend that I keep bringing on because if your friends can't come on your podcast and help you out, who else can you depend on? So my friend Tyree Thompson and his wife Amy, they've been married she's going to tell you how long they've been married for. And I met her through him, and she's awesome. And before every show, I have people fill out a sheet, and on the sheet, I just have them give me some information. And the thing that stood out on hers at the end, she said, "Hey, Sev, I'm white." So I thought that was like hilarious. So that's Amy. And then, like I said, we're gonna let her introduce herself. Stacy. I had Steve on one of my first episodes. Steve, he's now the engineer. Me and Steve graduated together. This is his wife, Stacy. She's with us also. Stacy's a really good friend of ours. She's probably more of my friend than Steve. He's gonna hear that and he's probably gonna be mad, but that's okay. But no, it's just jokes. But Stacy is great. Stacy and Steve, they are like family members to my wife and I. We don't have like family here in the city of Chicago, but Stacy and Steve have been that to us. They help us out when things are going bad, things are going down, and we try and reciprocate, do the same thing for them. So Stacy and Steve have been awesome in our life. And then we have my wife, Camila. She is awesome as well. She keeps the house going. She does everything. She has a mouth on her like no other. But that's all good things. That's why I hang out with her. And her questionnaire, the first time I gave it to her, she was like, "This got too much stuff. It's telling me to do this, do that." I'm like, "It's generic. It's just regular. There's nothing to overthink. Whatever." And she filled it out. And hers didn't say anything funny, but it just shows that she's always trying to make me better. She's always trying to push me. So I appreciate that about her, and she's always trying to get things going. So that's my little brief introduction for these women, and then I'm going to let them all introduce themselves. We're going to start with you, Amy, over the Zoom call.
Hey.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm not hearing everything you're saying.
Okay, we'll work it out. That's the joys of podcasting.
So I'm Amy. I'm from Cleveland. I'm married to Tyree. He refers to you as little Sevy Poo.
Yeah.
When he talks about you,
yeah.
Little Sevy Poo. We've been married 18 years. No, 17. I don't know. Since 2003, whatever that works out to.
Okay.
I'm from Toronto, so repping Canada.
Can we get an A?
You'll hear it. You're going to hear it. I don't do it on demand. You're going to hear it a lot. We've got 3 little girls. Well, they're not little. 15 and 12-year-old twins. And, yeah, just here to represent C-Town.
Okay. We love that. That's awesome. Stacy, let's get to you. Can you introduce yourself, ma'am?
I'm Stacy, wife of Steve.
Oh, Stacy, wife of Steve. Gotcha. Talk a little bit closer.
My husband is Steve. He is now engineer with City of Chicago Fire Department. We've been married. What year is this? 2020. So we've been married 9 years. Actually, this month made our 9th year. We have 4 children, 3 girls and a boy. And what else you want to know?
Well, that covers the fire part of the podcast and who you are. But I want to get more into who you are. So, not
Who am I?
Yeah, not
Oh.
representative of Steve, just who you are yourself.
Okay, that's cool. Who am I? I am a early childhood educator. I'm a trainer for early childhood teachers, those 0 to 5. Probably more of a mommy than I am everything else. I also have a business in which I do graphic design as well. And yeah, that's me. I don't know what else.
Oh, nope, that's perfect. That's what I wanted to hear. That's what we wanted to hear about you. Camila, could you introduce yourself, please?
Camila. Some people may know me as Kalisa.
Oh, I'm
Got a
sorry.
bunch of
Right,
names.
you got
It's okay.
That's our family name, Camila. Kalisa. I forget myself.
It's okay. I'm married to Severen. Our 5-year wedding anniversary is coming up. Should get a good gift.
Fun wedding.
Fun wedding.
Fun wedding. Thanks,
Yes.
Amy.
Fun wedding.
Have 3 kids. And I work at the hospital dealing with all this COVID stuff. And it's getting to me.
Okay. That's what we're here to talk about as well.
I'm gonna be honest with you, it's getting to me.
Okay. Well, that's outstanding. Thank you, Kalisa. Like I said,
You
it's
can do Camila.
Oh, it's-
Camila is what
so
most people
hard.
that listen to the podcast would probably know me as.
right. It's like I said, that's the name I've known her as. I remember when I first met you, and your name was Camila, and then somebody said Kalisa, or somebody sent me. I'm like, who are you talking about? Who is this
I get
Kalisa
that
person?
all the time.
I got to tell you, I've never been more confused forever. I never said your name because I'm like, I don't know what the hell her name is. What do I call her? I'm like, and I kept saying to Gotti, to your brother, what is her name? Tyree's like, listen, I don't really know either. Just shut up and say, hey, babe, hey, girl, how you doing?
Well, it's like that for all of us because we all have K names, but that we go by at home, and then we all
it's
have
so confused for
So it's like that for all 4 of us. So it's okay.
So
Now, when you say all 4 of us, it's not an inside. Tell us about the 4 of us.
So my brother Gotti, he's a firefighter for the city of Chicago.
No.
City of Cleveland.
Yeah.
And then I have 2 other brothers. My older brother Kwesi, his real name is Rasan. And then I have Kamisi, his real name is Asaya. And of course Gotti, Kofi. So we all have those K names that we go by at home.
There you go. So letting the audience know how it goes down.
and Gotti is one of Tyree's best friends.
Yes.
Yes, Gotti has been on the podcast. He's been on here, and he started his own show, The Open Hydrant 216. So give him a quick little shout out. But this ain't about him. This is about, well, I guess for Camila it is because it's her brother. But
Never about him.
this is for the rest of us. But we did give him a shout out, so we can't say we didn't say something nice about him. So Camila, you kind of jumped into one of the things I wanted to discuss with you, women, and why I brought you in. Or you said COVID is getting to you. COVID is what's going on in the world right now. It sucks. It stinks. Since you started it, Camila, and you just kind of brushed over it, give us your experiences with COVID. Kind of, your job, what you do, how you feel, everything.
So I work at the biggest hospital in the state of Illinois, really, Northwestern. And it's getting better for us down there, but in the beginning in March, when it hit, just to see the hospital transform like regular floor into ICU floors for the COVID patients, which is still closed down. So when people say, oh, COVID isn't real or something the government is putting together, it's like, well, come down to the hospital and see pregnant women getting tested positive for it and that can't hold their baby or can't take their baby home and their husband have to come get tested for it. So it's just like mentally for me, it's like, oh, I'm checking in patients that's probably COVID positive. So then I go home and I'm like Lysoling myself at the door and got to run to the shower because I don't want to touch my kid. So it's just mentally, it's like, oh my God, when is this going to be over with? But we have stupid people out here, so it's probably never going to be over with.
Well, never say never. Let's hope for the best. But I get and agree
But it's
with your
scary
point.
for me. I tend to be on the cautionary side of things. So naturally for me, I kind of panic, freak out. It's different, particularly when you're dealing with your spouse is a first responder. Then you have teenage children who you have to make decisions for, who also think that they are mini adults. So for me, it is very real. It is scary, even down to work and not being able to come back to work and trying to figure out when you do return to work, what will that look like?
Go ahead. I was just saying I need a page.
You need a page?
Yeah,
Oh,
keep going.
That's fine. So for me, it's just trying to navigate the new reality of being a full-time worker, wife, mother, and as so many other parents experience, trying to navigate the online learning for the children, particularly for the smaller children. So I am still very cautious, very nervous about going places, out to eat and things like that. So that's just kind of where I am, understanding it is our reality until something else comes about.
Okay. Amy, how about you? I was asking you about COVID in the Cleveland, Ohio area. Can you give us some information? I know before we even started, you were telling me about some sick people.
Oh, yeah. So we have a lot of friends right now. Tyree's brother, my sister-in-law, is a COVID ICU nurse. They're both positive. Two of our very good friends, one is a nurse, one is a detective. They're both positive right now. One of Tyree's very good friends, he's a fireman. His entire family positive. So we have a lot of people that are around us right now that have corona right now. So we're kind of sticking close to home. I am an auditor at Costco. So I am a sales auditor. So I'm kind of in charge of all of Costco's money at our building. So we've been incredibly busy. Costco has company-wide mandated the mask.
Okay, she's breaking up a little bit, but I think she was saying that Costco has masks.
Hey, sorry.
No problem.
So we've mandated the mask policy at Costco since the very beginning, since March. So we've been very, very busy. Obviously, Costco has always been kind of a leader in the industry. I've been going to different buildings, helping when they've had, instances where we've had employees positive and we've had to quarantine different employees. So I've been at different buildings. It's just been really tough. We're tired. We've been working a lot. Our governor has just come out with a new rating system where it's like a 1 through 4. We're currently in 3, in a level 3, which is second from the highest, and it goes by what county you live in. So we have different stipulations what happens when you go into different ratings. We're in a code red right now. If we go into a code purple, which is a level 4, I guess basically things start shutting down more. If schools were to reopen and you're in a level 3, which we're in, schools would be closed. So yeah, we're not doing very well. We're having highest number of cases that we've ever had, like all-time highs. So yeah, Ohio's not doing very well right now.
Okay.
Well,
we've already made the decision. Sorry.
When I'm online and I follow a lot of people from Ohio, and they're in the flats or everywhere, and they're no mask on. They're just out partying, drinking. It's
ridiculous. That's why we're not doing very well. Yeah, they're citing some of these bars. There's some on West 25th that aren't even following any of the rules. And the health department is coming in and they're giving them tickets and stuff like that. But it's ridiculous. People here just have no regard for anybody else.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing. That's kind of what me and Camila were talking about last night. It's like people don't believe that it's real and they just are doing whatever they want to do. While we're with you and you got a nice stable internet connection, give me a quick story. Not story, but so much. But tell me how you feel as far as your spouse and kids goes. Tyree's a firefighter. He has to go out into the public all the time. Just tell me how you feel about Tyree, first of all, and about your daughters in the COVID situation.
Tyree and I have already made the decision that for the first quarter, the girls are not going to go back to school. We've already decided. The school's already sent out options. There will be Group A and Group B, so basically Tuesday, Thursday, Monday, Wednesday, or you can do remote learning. And we've already decided we're going to keep the girls home. Number one, with busing, we have no way to get the girls to school now. With social distancing on the buses, we'd no longer qualify for busing. I can't get my kids to school and still work. So we're just going to keep them home, keep them safe, at least for the first quarter. They pushed back school until September 10th. And the end of the quarter is November. We're just going to keep them home. As far as Tyree goes, I know and trust him. And I know that he's going to be safe when he goes out and goes on calls and goes on runs. So I'm not worried about him when he's out doing his job. And I know he knows that I'm going to do well. So I'm not really worried about him.
Okay, thank you. Stacy, let's kind of the same question for you. Spouse-wise, kids-wise, like on our one podcast, me and Steve talk about how our lives mirror each other so much. So our kids go to the same school, and we know they pushed back our start date. They have the same thing, the Group A, Group B. They were always off on Wednesday for like a half a day, and then we tried to see if we could get going on the same thing. So could you give me, I don't know why that happened, could you give me how you feel wise about, like I said, your spouse and the kids and COVID and the whole situation?
So similarly to Amy, like I trust that Steve is doing what he's supposed to do when he is on the job. That part does not worry me so much. As it pertains to the children, we have an array as far as the age range. So as I mentioned in the beginning, we have a 18-year-old, we have a 14-year-old, then we have a 6 and 5-year-old. So my concerns as it pertains to the older two is not that they don't know about COVID-19, but just their willingness when they're not in our presence to follow through with wearing mask and, making sure you're washing your hands and things like that. So that is a huge concern and has been an ongoing battle probably with the older of the four, having to, in the beginning, ask her to quit working her job until things were a little more settled. And now she does have a job, but then now she, wants to have freedom to go places as well. But the smaller kids are with me, so I have pretty much all that control, so I can alleviate putting them in different positions where they might be compromised, although they are tired of looking at each other and us. So.
That happens. Camila, same question for you. Me going out, I told a story on another podcast, and I was saying the place I put in for, they had a couple of COVID hotspots. One of my good buddies, he ended up testing positive and had to quarantine. Another person I knew had to do the same thing, and I didn't get it at the time, and we both kind of said, well, maybe that was for the best. But now I am there. So just how do you feel, me-wise, kids-wise, just the whole thing?
Well, I have to give you credit and say during this, you've been great of just not going out. I will give you credit for that. I was a little nervous. I felt better when you were at the academy because you weren't on runs and stuff, but I knew you wanted to be at the squad, so, I'm going to support that 100%. But I trust you that you're going to do what you need to do to come home safe, especially since I'm crazy.
Yes, we all know. And now I have it recorded for everyone to hear.
So I trust you to do that. The big child here, she's going to be going away to college in 20-something days. She'll be in Ohio again at Worcester. It's her senior year. I feel terrible because we didn't celebrate her at all, being valedictorian and all. So I try to give her little freedom when she's not working to be able to just step out with her friends. But at the same time, I'm a mess because I need to make sure she's that mask, that everything, and she ain't doing it.
Yeah. And I feel we feel together, but I know especially I can't imagine being a senior at this time, and they are like super strong. People are trying their best. I know LeBron, Obama, Beyonce, they did that little on TV thing, and that was cool. That was great. If I was huge, that's something I would do for the kids. But just for them to, I remember my senior year. I remember getting ready to go off to college, and the fun and the excitement, and it's like they're kind of missing out on some of the stuff. So you want to let them breathe, you want to let them live, but at the same time, they need to be safe because there are a lot of people think it's a conspiracy and everything else, but like I said on another podcast, I know 2 people that died. I know 1 person personally that I could have picked up the phone and called that passed away from COVID. So it's just not real.
Well, even, I have a niece who is positive currently as well. And, that threw me over the ledge just knowing that she had went to my mom's house. So one, you expose my mom to it. But then I'm nervous, like counting the days because I'm like, I was there like 7 days before. Do I need to go get tested? Cussing and fussing.
Mm-hmm.
But then to find out days later, my daughter calls like, hey, I saw her at Walmart, but she's positive.
And she's just out and about.
And
So she's
just
not
out
she's
and
not
about.
quarantining.
Not
right.
quarantining. So if you have this young mind adult who clearly has COVID, was sick, like flu symptoms, but feel a little bit better and feel that she can go out and about into the street, just imagine how many other people are just out and about but are knowingly positive.
Right.
It's so irresponsible. And it's those type of instances that make me nervous, just absolutely nervous, because that's careless and just pure irresponsibility. And it's selfish. Very.
Yeah. Well, that's like kind of with the flu shot thing. I always tell people, like say, I don't take the flu shot like it's a good thing. That's fine. That's cool for you. That's whatever. But the flu shot isn't to not make you sick. The flu shot is for everybody else around you to not get sick and not get the flu. So it's kind of the same thing with the COVID. And then on top of that, we don't even know what will happen if you get it. Like, you don't know if you're going to have any long-term effects, any short-term effects. You don't know anything other than, hey, I got this cold, I feel terrible, I can't get out of bed, I can't take nothing make me feel better. Some people get that. Some people test positive and they just hanging out and chilling. So you just don't know. And the one analogy kind of that sticks with me the most, that makes me appreciate what's going on. If you know me, you know I love Skittles, like all kind of different Skittles, like that bright pack, the dark pack, the orange pack
I
used
really
to
like
be.
the blue ones.
The blue ones, yeah. That green pack, the Orchard, that used to be great. Skittles, if you're ever listening, please let me find a way to have the Orchard Skittles again. I need those in my life. But anyway, they said, and then it's so funny because Skittles, I have another buddy, his cousin works for Skittles, and they had a zombie pack. I refuse to buy the zombie pack.
They're horrible.
Because the thing is, all of them are sweet. Every once in a while, you get a nasty one, and that's the zombie one. So it's like with the COVID. If you had a bag of Skittles, and you know if you eat this bag of Skittles, that one of them can kill you, are you going to eat that bag of Skittles?
No.
I'm not. I love Skittles,
Exactly.
but I'm not eating that bag of Skittles if I know just one in that entire bag of Skittles can possibly kill me, and I don't know which one it is. So I heard somebody kind of equate that to that, and it makes sense to me. So, so we talked about the spouses going out. We talked about the kids, and then Jasmine, I want to try and get her and catch her. She's busy going to work and fake hanging out, and she lives in her room. She like comes down like a bat to get food and then goes back and descends to her area when she's done. But I do want to get her to talk about, she was valedictorian. We were pushing her, super proud of her class. She did a little online speech, but I felt she could have did what she would have did so much greater in person. And just, they cut her speech. I was kind of disappointed in that. And the fact that she didn't get to be there, she didn't get to wear the ribbons, she didn't get to do all the stuff. I mean, we had a photo shoot for her. We were going to do a party. Just trying to think of, well, when it's all said and done, we're going to take her on a trip. She already knows that, so it's not like a surprise. But just all the things that she missed out on, me and her mother, we are going to do our best to try and make up for that, because that's disappointing. Like I said, I know what it was like leaving and getting ready to go to school, and guess what? You can't do nothing because we have a pandemic out here. So thank
But
you.
it's also put things into perspective. You know, we feel sorry. You know, I too have a senior who graduated and is on her way off to college as
Yep, I was
well.
going to bring that up.
But to put things into perspective, you know, the celebrations that they typically get, even the ceremony of the graduation itself, it doesn't take away from the accomplishment that you had.
Right.
And hopefully all of the kids who, you know, whether elementary or high school graduates, can use this time and monument to say, okay, I rose to something greater and build off of that. So that's what I try to tell Naya. So I pray that they're all able to not focus so much on the celebration itself, but much more on the accomplishment.
Right. And like you said, it kind of puts stuff into perspective. One thing has made everything slow down, and that I do appreciate that. We have to spend more time together, more time looking at each other, more
Right.
time disconnected from everything. I have a phone issue, and like I don't have any numbers. I got another phone. I got like the most basic bottom of the barrel phone. And it's made me appreciate just my time in the house, not being connected to something else. It sucks when I need something, but I just have to find a find a way around it. So, COVID plus that, and you can't just walk into places. Like last night, Camila said, "I want to go sit on somebody's patio." I said, "Well, if you find somebody's patio that's just gonna take us at the last minute, have at it." But it's just difficult. So, and we live in a major metropolitan city, and not being able to do things. It's frustrating. So
That's the only thing I miss with COVID is I told Stacy, I'm like, you know, I'm a restaurant. I love going to restaurants. I miss that.
yeah, our son came to me and said, "Mommy wants you to drop her off at somebody's patio." And he ain't say nothing about me, so maybe she did tell him that, and just made that part up. She wanted me to take her. She just wanted me to just drop her off and go wait around the corner and come back and pick you up. Right. Come back and pick you up. So, spouse-wise, and this show, even though it's not like fire tactic and things like that, it is kind of geared towards firefighters and public safety. Amy, sorry. You guys' names are just both so white.
Amy got 3% African hair.
Yeah, Amy took a DNA test and she got right. You did the 23andMe, right, Amy?
I think we did the ghetto version of it. But
Uh-oh.
yeah.
Well, you had 3%.
You
so.
had 3%, so
Any percent
Did
minority.
Tyree tell you that?
No, you put it up.
you
and I
put it
saw
up. Yeah, you shared it.
Yeah, did you see that? I'm like Somali or something.
Yeah, we did see that. So all the way up there in Canada.
Crazy.
So what I was
Connection is crappy.
Yeah, that's not the best. We'll work on it. We get it together. And next time,
I think it's my internet. No, I think it's my internet.
Well, ours keeps saying unstable as well. So, like I said, when we can finally all travel and be somewhere and hang out, then we'll do it again for the part 2 episode of The Wives, especially since we're missing another one. But what I was going to ask, you've been married to a firefighter the longest. Can you give us some introspection into being married to a firefighter, first responder, kind of from jump, just anything you can tell us and tell the listeners about?
You just can't think about what they're doing on a daily basis or it'll drive you crazy, eh? You just got to let it go. Don't think about it. Or you'll drive yourself crazy. You will. You'll worry yourself to death. I don't think about what he's doing, where he's at, what kind of calls he's on. I don't. I just honestly just think about when he'll be home. And the only time I really worry is I never call him when he's at work. I never, ever call Tyree when he's at work unless it's an emergency, like when our daughter got hit by a car.
Oh.
Then I had to call him. Corey got hit by a car leaving school. I had to call him. I'm like, okay, this one warrants a phone call. But I don't call him when he's at work, and I don't think about what he's doing. He never comes home. He never discusses work. He never talks about runs. And I think that's the best way. The only time I ever hear Tyree talk about work is if he's with another fireman. Like if he's sitting around with Gaudi or something like that, and they've run in with each other on different runs, then I'll hear it. Otherwise, I would worry myself.
Okay, you're breaking up a little bit there, but
I'll
jump
doesn't
in
talk
real.
the best way I can say it.
I'll jump in real quick. Like I said, you was breaking up. I tried that same approach for myself, and it didn't work for me. Trying to not talk to my spouse about work and everything, and sometimes I don't tell her everything about work because some stuff is just too terrible. But like stuff that's bothering me, I'll give her the vanilla version of what's going on. Because that's
the white version, Seb.
Yes, the white version. Because I'm saying that because I'm talking to a white person. But yes. But yeah, that like I said, that didn't work for me. But for other people, it does. I can't wait till I get a chance to have Tyree on. We're going to talk about that and get more into that because those are the subjects that I want to get into. Stacy, your second longest. So can you kind of tell us what your experience being married to a first responder is?
So when I met Steve, actually, he was not a first responder. So from the very beginning on talking about moving to the city of Chicago by having, if you're a city employee, you have to live in the city. So conversation started well before then, even, beginning at accepting the position. But for me, the experience is, if anybody knows my husband, when Steve goes, he goes like all the way in, commitment to whatever it is. So his transition onto the fire department was very difficult for me, only because now Steve had another thing that he was interested in. And for Steve, a thing means giving like 101% of his time, his interest into being a firefighter. And that was something that I had to mentally wrap my mind around. I'm very much more extroverted. An introvert, and he's an extrovert. So, that meant on times going to socialize with other people who I didn't necessarily want to, but did in support. And then coming onto the job, so I accepted it, be a big girl about it. And just coming onto the job, it was very nerve-wracking to, probably the first year. I don't think anytime he went to the fire department, I slept probably half of the night because I just was nervous and afraid of what was to come, what he did. And then the incident happened in which his close friend who lost his life in the fire. So I was batshit crazy. I don't think I probably ever verbalized any of this to him, but I was like super, super, super crazy. And it was that point that I had to make a decision that I'm just going to pray every night that, he comes home in the morning. I taught our youngest children as well now. They pray that Daddy is able to come home each and every morning. We used to talk a lot about what happened on his day-to-day shifts when he would go into work. But again, Steve and I are polar opposites. So then when he would tell me stuff, I'm like, oh my God, this boy is going to get his ass kicked. Like, you can't say these types of things to people. Just knowing the area that he had to work, I was really concerned about that as well. But now I'm much more relaxed. I just pray regardless of what's going on, between he and I just pray that he is able to come home each and every day to me, to the children, and that he's, out of harm's way.
Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. And you went into what you kind of read my mind. That's awesome because I was gonna talk about Corey passing because that we were talking the other day. I met you. We all went out as a group. Corey was there. Like I said, that's the first time I met you. And the other thing I was gonna say, I think I talked about it on another episode of this podcast. Like it must just be a fireman thing or just people I know thing. And I don't want to say it like it's just to me, but when we get a hold of something, we like do it to death. We go all out. Like I said, I got a buddy. He fishes like no other. He like speaks another language in fishing. I got another buddy that barbecues. He stuff I've never even heard of, and I like to cook. And he like goes above and beyond. Steve bought a super big grill. Motorcycles, cars, anything. Like we get something, we do it to death. And then especially like this career, we get a hold of that and we just want to be the best at it that we can to help people and help ourselves, help a community, help everything else. So his passing, he passed. How did that affect you? I remember a little while ago you had like the nicest, most beautiful post about what you did with the death card. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So when Steve got onto the fire department, Corey was one of his close friends. So I was able to meet his wife and children, and we were able to interact. So, I remember vividly the morning that it actually happened, and me contacting Steve, trying to see, what's going on. Did you know who's in there and things like that, and even down to contacting his wife. To see if she had turned on the news, had gotten the news yet. It was just super mega crazy. For the first time, fast forwarding to the actual funeral itself, when they say being a fireman is a brotherhood, like I did not understand it until that funeral service, which was absolutely insane. Could not believe that firemen were coming from all over the world to pay him his respect. So that was like not an awesome experience, but to see the brotherhood and what it actually meant to be a fireman, regardless as to where you were located. But so shortly after, once Steve graduated the fire academy, Steve proposed to me, and once we got married, what I did was I had lost my father the same year that I actually had met Steve. So for our wedding, I made some charms, and one went on my bouquet, which was my father, but I made Steve, I got him a charm of Corey, which would go on his boutonniere. And I don't know that Steve knew where it was all these years later or whatever, but I keep Corey's photo along with my father's photo, which is right on above our heads on our nightstand each night. And he didn't know that, but I, frequently look at that because I did look at Corey and his wife as someone who could potentially be like a mentor, role models for Steve and I, being a newly engaged or newly married couple. And I hope that friendship would have continued, but unfortunately it did not with his passing. But we do still have a relationship with his wife. So that's it.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that story with us. Camila, Kalisa.
Camila.
Okay. You had fire in your family before you met me. Your brother, your uncle, he was the second black firefighter in city of Cleveland history. And so you are already used to that. And then, you're a girl, everybody want to holler at all your buddies want to holler at your friend's sister. I don't have a sister, so I don't know how that goes. But I have cousins where they're like, hey, put me on with your cousin. So you have firemen coming at you all the time. So you, like I said, you were just inundated with knowing about fire stuff. And it's not like that was anything you were trying to get to. We just happened to hang out too much and just click. So, and then speaking of that, I tell this on here, like I said, I was having phone issues. I went back and I had another phone number and it saved all my text messages from forever. So I found like all our conversations from like way back in the day. I'll show them to you. But just tell me your experiences, how you feel being married to a first responder. You can even tell me about family-wise, everything else.
Okay, so you and my brother handle this totally different. My brother is like, man, F that patient. He lost his leg. That's on him. He going to be limping around. Seb's like, oh, my God, he lost his leg. Oh, my God, am I going to help? What is he going to do? Like, you're like caring and you got sympathy and empathy. And my brother's like, man, F him. He messed up himself and got his leg cut off. So dealing with you and my brother is two different experiences. You're more caring. He don't care. That's just the bottom line. But to go off what Amy says, I think because me and you had a long distance relationship for so long, we always talked about work. Mm-hmm. So for me, the little bit of time that me and you didn't talk about work because you were shutting down on me, it was like, what's going on? Like, it's a problem. I'm so used to you. That's our morning talk. How was work? What happened at work? What's going on? That type of stuff. So that's our daily routine. So I don't know if I could go like Amy and Tyree. I mean, not that I want to learn bad stuff, but we talk about that stuff every day.
Right, we talk all the time. We talk when I'm at work and everything else. So that's not a thing we have. So Amy, we see you shaking your head. Go ahead, jump in.
So Tyree and I kind of used to talk about work, but I have to tell you, he shut me down because he'd be like, you ask too many questions. You want to know what they were wearing, where they were going, where they were coming from, who they were with. He's like, you need too many details. He's like, I don't know, Amy. They were a crackhead. I don't know who they were going to see. I don't know what was in their purse. I don't care about that shit, Amy. God damn, why do you ask so many fucking questions? He's like, just stop. So we just stopped talking about what we're...
That sounds just like Tyree.
Jesus Christ, Amy, I don't know why the girl ran in the road. Like, he's like, it's just easier. He's like, why does your girl need so many damn details? So, yeah, it's just easier if we don't talk about work.
So you know about that.
But then the opposite of that is, so when Steve would talk and he would say stuff, and I'm like, but Steve, no, you can't. You have to look at the whole picture and why they live in poverty and why they don't have a garbage can and why they don't have this, Steve. Look at their environment. Do you know this? Do you know that? I'm the one with the empathy. And he's like telling them, oh, hell no, you got liquor over there, but you don't have a thermometer, crazy stuff.
Like that, yeah.
I tell Stacy all the time, Gotti Cole and Steve Gatewood are like, they have so many things alike. Yeah, it's like crazy.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, I'm like, Tyree, but you need a little bit more detail on, like, the situation. You can't just go in there and...
She's breaking up again. Yeah. So, like with Camila, she asked me that, like, in regular conversation. Like I said, she's trying to make me be better, but she say, you don't know about this, you don't know why this person did that, why this person did the other. And I'm like, I don't ask people those kind of questions. Now, I care about them, but I don't ask them, like, why they were doing the things that they were doing that led up to the situation that they are in. And that's the question she wants me to ask, and she asked me about them. She said, well, like, when even driving here, we were talking about people hanging out and doing stuff. Why they doing that? Why they... I don't know, ma'am. I don't know.
I ask some people at work all the time.
I always want him. I'll be like, well, don't you want to call the hospital and find out if they're okay? Like the next day. Mm-hmm. He'll be like, man, fuck that person. They got themselves in that situation.
So, yeah,
like,
I cannot wait.
And see if they live, Tyree. Just call and find out if they're dead.
I cannot wait till the husbands listen to this and they come back with their rebuttal. So
I remember a long time ago.
Oh, Tyree's in the kitchen shaking his head.
A long time ago, Sev said to me, "Oh my God, I work with Steve today. He's the worst. He know everybody and he talk to everybody." I'm like, "Let's go," and he just sitting there talking.
Yes, yes. He's gonna talk to, and he now. Amy, Steve probably does have all of those details that you asked for.
Yeah.
Because he is that person. He is going to want to know, now what the hell were you doing? Well, why would you do this? And why are you all doing this? Yeah, he would be
Why the hell you up at 2 a.m. frying fish?
Right.
Yep. Yes. Yes.
Yep.
That's what I want to know.
That's the question Steve asks as soon as he comes through the door. That's what he did. So now he's an outside guy. Now he's an engineer, so now I make fun of him because he just play with gauges. But that's okay. We need those guys too.
Yeah, but I don't know how that's gonna work out for him.
All right. So yeah, I don't either. It's a job. Stacey, you said something about no sleep. You said you weren't able to sleep when we were gone. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So I am a worrywart. I pretty much worry about everything under the sun, overthink everything under the sun as well. So, I mean, just knowing that that is his job to run into a fire. Like, when I see fire, I'm running the opposite direction. So to voluntarily run into a fire seems a little problematic to me. So I worry because not only you have to think about your spouse, but the people who he's working with. Like, you might have a lazy coworker or somebody who does not practice or remember their job, or a slacker. Like, they are a team. So any wrong turn can turn into a bad situation. So I just worry about that. Like, worry if Steve's arrogance or his know-it-allness will get him in trouble sometimes. You know, when you figure like, hey, I got this, or I'm going to just handle this and do it this way, that doesn't always work out. And I would hate to think that, you know, that happened in the midst of a fire and that one decision changed your life and ultimately our lives.
That makes perfect sense. I understand where you're coming from, what you're saying. We try our best, especially where we used to be, me and him together. We trained some, but the most thing, we were doing stuff actually. So we were having the opportunity to do stuff so we were having live on the job training and doing stuff. So we were pretty good. And all our coworkers were great there. I see as I go around different places, they have different tactics. But from that standpoint, we were good.
He did explain that to me, though. That's why he wanted to be at a faster house, so that he knew that his people were constantly going into fires, constantly getting that on-the-job practice and working. Because if you go to a place that's really, really slow and you get a fire or whatever, you know, every once in a while, you know, it's like that concept of if you don't use it, you lose it. So he did explain that, which makes total sense.
But I don't want to make it seem like people who don't get fired a lot don't know what they're doing. They train as well too. They do a lot of training, and that's kind of the department's thing, is to make sure that you're up to snuff. We just want to. He's right, because if you're a busier place, it's just a lot less. It's a lot less headaches, like as far as other stuff that goes on in the house, but. Like I said, he was telling you right. But everybody, especially here in the city, we try and train and get it done. So no matter where you're at, you're okay. That's always the goal. It doesn't work like that all the time, but that's always the goal. Camila, can you tell me some about not sleeping, worrying? If you sleep, worry?
Well, I used to always tell you, I have to worry about you when you go out, when you go to work. Now I got to worry about you on your off day because you want to go out kicking it. So you just don't want me to ever get no rest.
You work great on no rest. I mean, I can't.
I do.
Like when I sleep, I need to sleep for real. And you just are still a functioning human being with minimal rest.
Because that Zoe child, boy, I tell you.
Yeah, she's something else. I think. Oh, there she is. She came back again. It just keeps dropping in and out, but it's okay. Like I said, we'll work it out. Yeah, you work great on the no sleep thing, and that's like one of the things I said we can do better. That's my decompression, going places sometimes by myself, because like I said, not all the stories I want to come home and tell and just give them to you and make you feel how I feel. But you don't feel like that. You tell me, you say, well, I was telling you about a kid and something happened to him. Who let they 15-year-old be out at midnight? He shouldn't have been out there. Well, not even at midnight, at 2 a.m. He shouldn't have been out there. Jasmine can't be out that late, so why you think that kid should be out that late? And I said, well, yeah, but they were out that late. So, I mean, they were already here. It's not like I can go back and fix what happened. But, those are the conversations we have and that try and, I understand what you're saying, and I hope you understand what I'm saying when I say that same stuff to you. So, we kind of talked about all the major stuff, spouse-wise, kids-wise, and we can keep going forever. How long we been on here? I can't see, my timer went off, but okay. And then we got a little bit of stuff to cut out, but you guys have been absolutely wonderful. I really appreciate you guys coming. I'm gonna get towards the end, I ask you kind of who, what, where, when, why, how you were, all of those great questions. Amy, are you can you hear us?
I can.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you, like kind of a ending final question. Like, we'll end on a nice note. What's going on in your life right now that you like? What's something positive? We have so many negative things going on. COVID, we talked about that at the beginning. Everything seems to not be the best right now. What's something positive that you can give us?
Just that right now we're so fortunate that we are getting to spend so much time together as a family, just disconnect from the world and reconnect together as a family. And we're just, doing cheesy things, just having movie nights, just doing each other's nails, just hanging out, just being goofy. We got a hot tub, so we're just hanging out in the hot tub. We're just chilling as a family and just coming back together. We're always so busy that right now we're not busy and we're just hanging out and we like it. It's just a lot of fun.
And you guys want to just interject that we're all really fortunate to have these situations that we have going on. We're all really, men, we're really fortunate to still be working, to still be able to have a job and go and be able to help people.
You're frozen.
Okay. We're fortunate to be able to even have the time to afford you all to spend with each other. I see you guys share a lot of recipes with each other.
Oh my God. So Kaya and Tyree like to bake and the twins and I like to, there's Tyree.
Hey, Tyree.
Like to cook. So yeah, we post those because every 10 recipes that we post to Kaya, she'll make one. She does like to bake.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for that, Amy. If you can log off now if you want, I'm gonna just finish talking to them because the connection kind of
It
sucks.
was good to see your faces, guys.
You
Bye.
too.
Good
We'll
to
see
see
you
you.
when
We
this
gotta
is
have
all
a
over.
dysfunctional.
Right,
Yeah,
we got to
gotta
get
have
together
a
for real.
family reunion.
Absolutely.
Once this is
Right.
all over, we will get together.
I can't hear you. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So
that was so fun, guys.
all right. Well,
right, guys.
I'll call you later on. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So you two, you still are here, talking to me. Stacy, like I said, we're getting down towards the end. Not gonna beat the listeners' ears up forever with our banter, but give me something positive, not about COVID, just positive period in life. What's something great that you have going on, and then on top of that, because I know you won't do it unless I ask, I need a super plug for your business.
Oh, okay. Something positive I got going on. I don't know. Outside of, what you all just stated, I am super, super grateful that I am still able to work from home with a full paycheck. We have food on our table. We've been able to provide our children, much to what Amy was saying, with just time to spend with one another, because we too were a very busy family with activities and things like that. So for that, I am extremely, extremely grateful. But also, one of the things that I'm probably more grateful about is that I probably have not talked to my mom so much as I have right now, like during COVID. Now, with all of this going on, I've really been speaking to my mom much, much more than what I typically would, which is different, but I like it and I enjoy it. So that's something really positive that I like.
That is awesome. I like that. At the end, I still want that super plug. I'm coming back to it.
Okay.
Camila, what about you? What's something positive that we have going on? Not we as us, but you in particularly have going on that you can find with life.
So I'm happy COVID is going. I'm not happy for COVID, but I'm happy we haven't been back and forth in this car as much because we're usually like a road family on the go, and I don't enjoy it as much with the little kids. But so I'm happy COVID kind of slowed us down where we're not on the go as much. And I'm just happy to be in the backyard with the kids.
Yeah.
Stacy come over with her kids, and they're all back there just jumping and neighbor trying to fight us and everything. But
we're not getting into the negative stuff. I said positive.
I mean, literally, this is the most we probably ever use our backyard.
Right. We got a trampoline,
got a trampoline, a basketball
hoop,
Right.
fire pit, barbecue
Splash
grill,
pad.
splash
We have
pad,
everything.
water. Yeah.
I really do feel sorry for people that feel they have to always be out and about, hanging out and kicking it for their happiness or whatever. I feel sad for them, but I'm grateful for us that our backyard can be just that satisfying to where we don't feel the need to run the street to find happiness.
Yep, that's awesome. I'm glad you said that. Another question that popped into my mind that I said we were going to talk about, and I should have got to it before I left Amy. As first responder men and husbands, spouses, what is something that we could do better for you all? Stacey been going first because she liked to guess. Camille, I'm going to let you go first this time.
Something you guys as a spouse could do better?
Yes.
On your days off, you could do better at doing home stuff.
Okay.
You used to cook all the time and just do stuff. Now you're just, I don't know. Got to get my old savvy back.
So I have to cook more.
You have to you used to cook all the time. Just.
Well.
Make me some soul rolls.
I'll make you some soul rolls. I did used to, because Stacey said I'd invite y'all over, and Stacey was like, "Why y'all inviting us over all the time?" I said, "Well, we got food, we got stuff to eat, and Steve come help me do stuff, like with his side job, with his trade and all that, and I pay him and hook him up, but I feel like I need to do more, so that was my reciprocation part to try and give back as far as that goes, but." Cook more. Yeah, and that was at the academy, and that was draining and going every day and then coming home. You said, so I guess it ain't no dinner. Saying unless you find something from somewhere. So I'll get better. So thank you for letting me know that. Stacey, what about you? What's something that we could do better?
So maybe, I don't know if this is for all firemen, but for mine. Just understanding that your job is very different, in which you have your shift is 24 hours, you have a couple of days off, you have much more freedom than someone who works a normal 9 to 5, 8 to 4, whatever your shift may be, Monday through Friday. So just being a little bit more understanding and flexible with your partner's time and what that would look like, and being considerate of your partner's time, which will then go into, on your off days, your spouse might need some off days as well. But outside of that,
That's perfect. Hey, I really appreciate that. That's exactly what I was looking for. That's something we need to hear. Here we work. The firefighters work 24 on, 48 off. So we work that one full day gone. We got 2 days off. Then we get some other days off in between. Depending on where you at and what you're doing. So there's a couple of sayings I have, and one of them that I heard from somebody else: every day is Friday, because it's like you working Friday, then you got off Saturday and Sunday. So even if I'm working Tuesday and I got off Wednesday and Thursday, Tuesday is really Friday.
Right.
Every day is Friday. That's the good side to it. But the side that I feel like you all don't see sometimes is they say, oh, yeah, you working 24 hours, you sleeping, you can do what you want to do, you can do whatever. That is not how it goes all the time. Sometimes we are like really getting beat up. Like, I would have to come home and take a real live nap just to function that next day. And so my Saturday is that, the Friday that I work, that Saturday is pretty much gone. And then I got one day to kind of get stuff done, because by the time I wake up from napping, everything is back closed again. So it's not like that all the time. But sometimes that's easier said than done. But I appreciate you saying that to us so that we can, kind of, that's what this show is about, is to have conversations so we can know each other coming from.
And just as a wife, you learn to appreciate the 24 hours that your spouse is gone.
Oh, yeah. Hey, it goes the same way. Because for some guys, it's like going to the clubhouse, because we get to get away from y'all for that 24 hours, too. Especially when we beefing. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's the best 24 hours of your life.
Right. Like, I look forward to go. I remember one time me and Camila was into it, and I went to work like super early, like 4 a.m. And my officer was there, like, "What you doing here?" I said, "It's better than being at home." And he said, "I feel you, brother." So, feelings mutual. Thank you.
Cool.
Stacy, let's get that super plug from you. Tell us about your business, and then we're going to get out of here.
So my business is Suite 5116, so it's SUITE 5116. I can be found on Facebook, Instagram. The website is still up and under construction, but I do graphic design, so if you need anything, flyers, backdrops, logos, banners, anything you need, wedding invitations, birthday invitations, I can do it.
And she does an outstanding job. I'm trying to hire Stacy as my employee. I'm not even going to lie. I just want to take her business and buy it, and then I'm going to, like, put you out for everybody else. But,
Put me out on the streets.
no, I ain't putting you out on the streets. I
You
mean,
don't belong to the streets.
I'm going to just get your stuff together. Me and Steve always joke, but he said, "Your employee over here tripping." I said, "Hey." That's like kind of our joke, but now it's the world's joke. But yes, Stacy is awesome. She's done stuff for us, and like
Arts and crafts.
right? And I was talking about doing reviews for people, and I'm like, usually no review is a good review, but for her, she like goes above and beyond and does things excellently. She did our wedding shower, our baby shower. And like, I'm just thinking, oh, it's just going to be okay. It's going to be whatever. This woman, like, put it all the way down, like with the
She's
decorations.
like that with everything
And
she do.
Yes, she's like that with everything she does. Everything she touches turns out. It's a talent I wish I had, but she's awesome at it. So if you want to get her, you got to go through me first, because like I said, it's going to be my employee. But no, hit her up, Suite 5116. You can find her on Facebook, Instagram. Like she said, she's getting her website up and going. Camila, I just bought you a business present, but I don't think you've opened it yet.
I did,
But we're gonna get to that later on down the line, so you don't have anything to plug. So
no.
You can plug me. You can say, listen to this show. Okay.
I already do that.
You do that. Thank you. So to everybody listening out there, thank you very much for listening to another episode of Department 3C Presents a Podcast. I have some bonus podcasts coming up I did with my family. Just talking about regular stuff, like I said, testing out new equipment, making sure things work, because I'm trying to give you the best content that I can. I'm working on a website also, still working on a website. And I have a Patreon account that if you go to, you can find some member benefits. Just a general member benefit and a sticker, a custom decal that I designed. And eventually I'm going to build more tiers and put more stuff out. Like I said, more content, everything I can do to serve. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to be the best I can be. I'm trying to take you on that journey with me. So thank you for listening to the show, and we will talk to you next time. Bye.
This has been a Fire and Iron Media production. You have something to say, people want to listen. How's that, Daddy?